To be the first person on stage to talk about a change is rather scary. I wasn't expecting this. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Prabeer, and I'm scared. So I have my Jolly Roger flag up to give me some support on this thing, what I'm going to discuss today. Let's try to hack software piracy. Let's turn the tables. Let's see how you can actually do this. Now, software piracy. Let's leave the freeware part out of it, and let's move on to the paid part of the software. We use that a lot nowadays. Over here, we have an audience. I'm sure everyone is into computers, iPads, phones, and all those things. So this is part of our life. We are living in two different worlds, actually, the digital world and the real life. So when we come to the digital world, we can't say no to software. And now piracy becomes part of that life. Now, if you go into Google and you just type in some words about piracy in software, you'll see that the highest rate of software piracy is in emerging economies like Bangladesh, particularly Asia. That's what they say, that in Asia, we have the highest rate of software piracy. Business loss has been estimated at $60 billion globally last year. And in Bangladesh, $102 million estimated. The figures actually, I have my confusions. I think the figure should be more. Okay. Bangladesh has been marked as #1 for software piracy in Asia. It's all there on the Google. You can search it, and you can see the figures. And #2 in the world. Well, we did it. We are up there. Now, does that really mean that the tech generation, the new generation, or even us, I'm 52, I'm still in the tech generation, I'm proud of it. So this tech generation, the new one, are we all pirates? Is this what the world is all talking about? You're all pirates? The pirates of the Bay of Bengal? All right. Now, before we actually go into piracy and all the stuff, why do we have software piracy? I mean, let's give it a thought. Why software piracy? Is it about affordability? We can't buy the software? Is it about non-availability? You can't get it anywhere to buy in Bangladesh. Is it just for fun? Oh, I got some free software, which I was supposed to pay. Is it a sense of adventure? I cracked it. It's great. I did it. Is it just lack of ethical sense? Or is it simple ignorance? We don't know what we are paying for and what we aren't paying for. Now, if you take all these factors, that's actually the main reason. I mean, when you look at software piracy, these are the issues that come up. It tags along with the word software piracy. Now, the question comes, how do you make people buy software in a developing country? Let's not talk about the rest of the world. Let's talk about us. Let's talk about South Asia. Let's talk about countries that are emerging economies. And how do you crack that code? Is it possible to sell software in an economy like us? Or is it easier to crack a software rather than easily cracking a code for business? What's easier? Is it easier for me to crack a software and use it? Or should we crack the code of business? So I would actually take you back a couple of years back, 2006, where I started trying to crack that code. I was invited to a conference. It was hosted by an independent, it's a very renowned organization. They actually invited us to discuss software piracies and the ratio, all the figures, facts about Bangladesh. It's actually a spokesman sort of a thing for Bangladesh government and the people and the IT industry to talk about where piracy is taking us. I was invited to ask a few intelligent questions. I don't know where they got that idea, but they thought I was intelligent enough to ask a few questions. So I was sitting there, and throughout the whole 2 hours of a session, I actually saw or heard them talking bad things about us. We are just pirates. We are losing this much in money, we are doing this, and we are doing that, and there's no way out. So we should actually be, banged on the head to start buying software. And I didn't like that. So rather than asking intelligent questions, I started asking dumb questions. What I was asking is, how do you say all these things? Why do you say that we are pirates? What have you done to solve this problem? Now, no one in that conference actually had an answer how you stop that. So I did some jumping up and down. I did some screaming. They threw me out. Well, not literally. Didn't like me. Okay, so I came out, me and my big mouth. So I had to get back to the office, and I started thinking. I was bragging out there. I was fighting. Can I solve that problem? Can I change that? And that's where it all started. Now, as I told you, there was a story behind it. So I came back to the board, a drawing board, and I came back to the same old rules, affordability, non-availability, and all those things. I came to that. Now, how do I crack this? So, not only that, I also realized, being in the software industry, being a programmer myself, that it's not just about ethics or about affordability. It's also a lot about security. Using cracked software can actually put your computing into risk. That is also an issue that adds up to the whole board. So, my first question came out, how do I reach out to people? That was my basic question. And the second question is, how do I make them buy? Why would someone pay to buy software in Bangladesh? You can buy a CD in the market for less than $1, and it all combines all the software that you desire. Why should they buy from us? Or why should even they buy from anyone? So, for reaching out, communications was actually my first challenge. And when you're talking about software business principles, they try to give you communication skills in a package, which is probably from Germany or from India or from USA. It doesn't match our culture. I said, this communication has to be the Bangladeshi way, the way we think, the way we see our life. And that is where our communication starts. So what did I do? I put my brand on buses, the battered buses, and that's where I made my first entry into the market. I put it on auto rickshaws. The turtleback ones, the green one, I put posters there. I started branding up everywhere. They thought I was crazy. Fine, the communication started. Next comes the selling part. First thing, affordability. I fought 6 months with my principal to get my prices 1/4 of the global prices. That was the first thing for me to crack, and I did that. It took me 6 months. I'm happy they agreed to it. I made it available. We were the first ones to do republishing. We said, we don't want to import your boxes. We want to make it here. We have the technology. We can make our own CDs, our own packaging, and we can do it here. I want to save on the shipping cost. They agreed to that too. Support. Fine. We built up a technical team. We got them trained. We got them qualified and everything. And I approached the government for a toll-free number. Now, no news on that. But finally, after 3-4 months, I finally got a toll-free number. And I got the only toll-free number in Bangladesh. So people don't pay, I pay. And then you need to start creating hypes, vibrations into the market. That's basically a part of the communication, but you start making hypes. And you need a sales force. Now, I can't afford to keep 1,000 marketing guys in my office. I can't do that. So I need a sales force. Now, I actually created that. I started selling in channels. I didn't sell directly. So I put the whole market as my marketing force. I started talking to them, they have started selling, and that is how I actually built my marketing force. In 2008, when I started my project, I promised them 10,000 users. Well, it turned out to be 52,000. In 2012, today when I'm standing, I have 800,000 users. By the end of this year, I promise you, 900,000 in Bangladesh. They are paying for software. These are people in Bangladesh who are paying money for software. 900,000 people, ladies and gentlemen, they have paid for software. I don't think software piracy in a developing nation is impulsive. They say it's impulsive. They keep on giving you all the data that we are impulsive pirates. No, we are compulsive pirates. There are so many factors behind it. I've talked about affordability and all those things. We are, by compulsion, using software, pirated software. And that's what my 5 years in the industry, working for legal software, has shown. You steer this tech generation out of the compulsion, the code is cracked. It's as simple as that. And it's not what you do alone or what I do alone. You involve. This gentleman here, his name is Shakil, is a very interesting case for me. He came up to my office trying to sell me books. You know, you have people going around offices trying to sell you books from DK publications and all. It was about 7 o'clock, I was working in the office, he tried to sell me some books. So I told him, if you're selling books, why don't you sell software? He got interested. This man, ladies and gentlemen, again, is one of my top resellers now. He sells like crazy. Goes door to door. He has formed a company. He doesn't actually have an office, but he goes house to house selling software, legal software. I'm not doing it alone. That's called teamwork. You involve your entire community with it. He is that involvement. I've got more and lots of other stories like him working with me. It's inspiration, how they work. You know what Gandhi said? First they ignore you. They did to me. They'll do it to you too. Then they laugh at you. Fine. Then they fight you. And well, finally you win. It's happened in history. It's been repeated so many times. It always keeps on happening. Perseverance and will. That's the main key. That's what we need. We set our objectives. We believe from our heart that this is what I want to do. You strategize from your mind that this is how you will work it out. And you execute. You use your entire strength to execute that, what you believe in. You can make the change. It's nothing very difficult. You know, for me, when I see at this age, after all the experiences, impossibilities always lead to possibilities. If selling software is possible, anything is possible. The simplicity, as I say, of cracking the code is overwhelmingly simple. It's not difficult. Now, let me tell you something. Before I say thank you, please, no claps. There's a bad thing to it, huh? When you actually believe and you work for it, and you are out there to make a change, just remember one thing. Take care of your health. You know, give your loved ones the time. It can be an obsession, it can be a passion, but do please take your time and give your family the time and take care of your health. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.